Okay, and the way that we divide complex numbers is we multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator, or the complex conjugate. So the complex conjugate would be d minus, or c minus di. And what this is going to do is it's going to eliminate the imaginary unit I from our denominator. Now, it might still remain in the numerator, and that's fine, but we're getting rid of it as far as simplified rational form. You can't have radicals in the denominator. You can't have imaginary units in the denominator. And you need to use the complex conjugates to get rid of those. And so again, you'd get the same kind of thing that we looked at before. Up here, you get a times c minus a di, distribute plus b ci minus b di squared, all over. And when you took a number times its complex conjugate, first term squares, your outer and inners are going to cancel completely. So you're left with plus, here minus your d squared I squared. The I squared is going to become a -1, which changes this sign. And so as you simplify this, here the I squared becomes a -1, which changes this sign. So you wind up combining your real parts, AC plus BD. You combine your imaginary parts. I'm just going to write it as a plus, and I'm going to reorder these terms because I want BC minus AD all times I. Like I said, this one I'm just using the letters, the variables to work through this, but this would be your general simplified form if we did this with an actual expression. Okay, what we can do here is we can multiply this. If you multiply by the complex conjugate of your denominator, so 4 and I, opposite sign between, plus, that gives you in the denominator here 4 squared minus I squared. I squared becomes a 1, or a -1, change the sign. So we're going to wind up with 17 in our denominator. And then along the numerator here, we're going to expand this by hand, by foiling. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3i, plus 8i, plus 2i squared. Well, I squared becomes a -1, changes the sign. And now it's a matter of combining 12 minus 10, or 12 minus 2 is 10. 3i plus 8i is 11i. And so this right here is your answer. Often what you're going to do is it's probably easier to write this in the form, and sometimes you will be asked to write in the form a plus bi. If that's the case and it's a rational form of a fraction, what you would do is distribute your denominator into each term. So this would be written as an a value of 10 over 17 plus a b value of 11 over 17i. And so that's how this is the form that you will likely be asked to enter your answer.